Let's start with AI and ethics. I think we have to start with ethics when it comes to AI. As the number of organizations exploring or deploying AI continues to increase, ensuring the ethical application of this technology is vital. In your mind, what is trustworthy AI? I know you've written about it. That's why I'm asking the question, obviously.
And I'll start by the outset by saying this is an important area. It's also a nascent area. It's an area where we've been on a journey and been applying this very thoughtfully. But it's an area where many of you are also evolving your understanding. It's an area which I would say is all about ethical application of AI. And when you think about that, don't think about that as you've developed an AI and then at the back end of it applied a checklist called ethics and closed the door on that. But it's something you do from the very beginning as you co-create with your users. And that's the approach we take, a proactive, systematic, scalable approach. All those three words are critical. Proactive, it's something you do upfront. Systematic, it's not something which you do ad hoc and reactive. It's something that's very programmatic that you do. And scalable, it's not something that you apply in one program or two. It's something you apply across all programs. And the way we approach this is through 5 core pillars that embody our trustworthy AI. The first is transparency. Think about when you go and buy a beverage at your favorite coffee shop. You see the nutrition label. You see how many calories it has. What is that about AI? What is the health of the AI? You should be able to see it. You should be able to delve into it as a user, not just as a data scientist, but as a user of the AI. Explainability. Why is the AI giving a certain recommendation? When you watch a movie, you have some sense of the genre of the movies you like, what other viewers are watching, and why the AI is giving you a certain movie recommendation. The AI in HR should also give you that same sense of the why behind the what. The ultimate decision is yours, of course, but you should be able to understand the why behind the what. The third pillar is fairness. This is all about bias identification and mitigation. This is something you want to do upfront as part of the design of the AI. The fourth, robustness, having the right guidelines and operational principles. And the fifth, privacy. This is something we've all been practicing for a while, but becomes even more important in the area of increased regulation in the space. People who have the need to know should know it, and not others. So transparency, explainability, fairness, robustness, and privacy, the 5 pillars for trustworthy AI.
And I think what that helps set that up with that firm basis, as you said, you're thinking about that at the outset, not after you've designed an AI application that you want to use. It's that fair exchange in value. So if you think, all data is sensitive, people data, whether it's customer data or employee data, but I think even more sensitive when it's employee data. And we're thinking about, the way you've described that there is that fair exchange in value. So in exchange for an employee providing access to their data to you and the team, they get something in return, and being very transparent about the data you're collecting, why you're collecting it, minimizing people who have got access to that data. And as you say, I don't know, if you're providing a recommendation around a career path within IBM, there's that explainability behind it as well. This is why we're recommending this for you as an IBMer. Or this is why we're recommending for you as a manager why you might want to take these steps to engage your team maybe better than you are at the moment.
That's really right, David. And what I would say for your viewers listening to this is we all have the right intent on this. We all want to do this. And I know many of you might feel, hey, how do I get started on this? I'm early on the journey. I would just say, I get asked this question quite a lot. And many of you are in the same place. So don't feel like you're alone on the journey. Reach out to your peers, reach out to your friends, and get started on this journey. It can be intimidating, but it's important, it's critical, it's where I strongly believe we all need to head towards.
With that, again, it's one of the things we recommend organizations do it inside to do. And I know you have this sort of thing in IBM. Is almost like put a charter in place, put an ethics charter in place on on how it's going to govern how you collect and use people data within the organization. And then, as you said, be transparent, make it available so people can see it. I think it's so important, that we do this. You set that basis, and then by doing that, you create the trust, which is so important when it comes to using analytics and AI, particularly with people data.
That's absolutely right. And once you create this charter, it's not just keep the charter to yourself, but educate people on the charter. Be transparent, have a conversation. It's a journey we're all on, and the dialogue helps you evolve the charter into something that's much more effective for all of us.
In this series, we will be speaking to a range of senior leaders who are pushing a data-driven and digital HR agenda. Make sure that you subscribe via your podcast app of choice and also via our YouTube channel for free and regular interviews with the digital HR leaders of the future.